Come on in, everyone, and welcome to my review of Ready to Love, episode 6. And my name is Deborah, and we're going to get right into this discussion. I'm glad you're here. For all my returning viewers, for my returning subscribers, my returning members, thank you so much. And for anyone who's new here to the channel, I hope you will like my video. I hope you will subscribe. And I hope you'll drop down in the comments and join the conversation, because we be getting it popping down in these comments. But let's get right into it. The episode started off with Tommy complaining, talking about, what's going on? What's going on? It doesn't seem like there's no real dating going on. And he's like, we need to get some dating going up in here. Well, I think what's happening, Tommy, is that most people have already hooked up. I said this last week in my video, that in this season, everybody hooked up already together. And I'm not so mad at it. The people that need to change are not the people, Tommy. Y'all need to change your format. Because at this point in time, we should be seeing definitely more one-on-one dates, because people really have narrowed their choices down to 2 people. But you're still trying to require them to date 2 and 3 different people. Nobody want to do that. Change the format of Ready to Love, so people just don't have to keep stringing people along and dating any old body when they already know it's down to 1 or 2 people. I also want to know if this inflation is hurting these people down there in Miami. Dates are expensive. Is Ready to Love giving a budget for these dates? Somebody who has an inside scoop, let me know down in the comments. Do they give them a budget for these dates, or do these people have to foot the bill all by themselves? Because that could be stopping a lot of dates, because we know it's definitely stopping the dates of Justice, because he's cheap. We're going to talk about him down below. And another thing, people, is his name Justice or Jawan? Because when I looked him up on the sort of cast of Ready to Love, they said his name was Jawan. So is he getting rid of that name because he thinks it's too ghetto and he want to become Justice all of a sudden? I'm going to start calling him Jawan if that's his government name. Jawan. Because it better fits him. Jawan is like, I need to catch up with all these fellas because I haven't been doing a doggone thing. I'm behind. You're right, Jawan. You need to catch up. And what's going on, people? We must be missing a lot. There's a whole lot of behind-the-scenes stuff going on because in this episode, we realized that Mike and Kayla, they've been doing some behind-the-scenes hooking up. How the heck did Kayla become not the side chick, but the chick that stays in the background, where Mike dates Brandy in public, but then what he's sneaking and seeing Kayla on the down low in the background? Because they were spilling some tea on here, and it told me that they had a lot more interactions than we've been seeing. I don't know how Kayla became the good time girl, because here we talking about Mike saying that Brandy is a reality, but Kayla is the music video dream. What is that? And then you have Randall later on saying, Kayla, you're going to have a good time with Kayla. Oh, what is he, her pimp, talking about Kayla give you a good time? What is Randall talking about? I told you this last week. I told you Randall really was eyes for Jamala. He was stringing along Kayla and Trinika just to have somebody to vote for him. And I knew that Mike's strongest connection was with Brandy. And here he is trying to have this sort of pseudo connection with Kayla. But he said it right when he said Brandy's the reality and Kayla is the music video dream. Now, what does that mean? You know what that means? It's just like an old man who's 42. I ain't gonna call him old because he's younger than me, but a 42-year-old man showing up on the Porsche dealership with 3 kids told, and they're like, are you really here to buy a Porsche, or are you just dreaming? That's Mike when he's with Kayla, because that man who shows up on the Porsche dealership with 3 kids, he really should be down at Ford looking at a minivan. But instead, he was over here dreaming about driving his Porsche. That's what Mike is saying about Kayla. She really is a dream. Because you know what? Mike is really a realistic, down-to-earth type person. Even at times he says, stop thinking so much. He's cerebral. And what he loves when he looks at Kayla, he says, Kayla's 30 years old. She got young sperms. I know it ain't her lifelong dream to marry no man and become a stepmother before she's a mother. Let's keep it real. He knows that's not her dream. She's 30 years old. He don't really want a whole bunch more kids, maybe 1 at best if he got to, but he really don't want that. And he's like, what am I going to be doing with this 30-year-old woman? You know, Kayla may look good, but he's thinking, does she really fit into my life? She may look good. Is she the fantasy, or does she really fit into my everyday life? But Kayla knows she's kind of like the side girl, because she keeps saying, you know, Mike keeps coming up to her and flirting with her and doing all these kind of things. But she clearly knows that Brandy is getting more attention. And from the end of the show, when they had that little messy red dress dinner, where Kayla and Mike stood up and started talking to each other, which we're going to talk about, Brandy had a look on her face, was like, what is going on? That's what happens, Brandy, when you flying back and forth to the Bahamas. I told you that ain't conducive to dating when you all the way down in St. Thomas and your man is in Miami, and next thing you know, he been having these behind the scenes things with Kayla and you didn't even know about it. But Kayla knew about Brandy, but Brandy didn't know about Kayla. Mike don't even know if he want to be Kayla's uncle or Kayla's boyfriend, because he's like, are you getting nervous because you don't have no real connections? You better watch out for Jamala with Randall. And Kayla's like, what you talking about another man for? You should be concentrating on me. No, Kayla, he knows you out of reach. He's just here to do the dating he normally need to do. He acting as an uncle. He telling you, watch out for Jamala. You better listen to him. They on this little pool date, and once again, Kayla bring out her one trick, making a bet, and whoever bets gets a kiss. Kayla, you did this at the bowling alley. You can't be doing the same trick twice. And Mike picked up on it real quick. He was like, I don't want that as no bet. Shoot, you got the cooties. Because the last time you made a bet to kiss a man, whoever won, you had to kiss Zoe, and we all know Zoe was a fool. He was trash. So kissing your lips right now is like kissing a trash can, because they've been on Zoe already. Mike was like, I don't want to kiss her. I don't want to kiss her. She doesn't kiss Randall. She doesn't kiss Zoe. He like, this ain't no special kiss. I don't even want it as a bet. I don't even know how it could be a bet. Ain't nobody else involved. If he loses, he kisses you. If you lose, he kisses her. What you doing, Kayla? You running game? You really trying to run game? Mike is not going to choose Kayla. She is exactly what he said. She's a fantasy. He's the one he may pull up her picture with some baby oil in the room, something like that. But he ain't going to choose her. He's too practical. He's too logical thinking. He knows that's a fantasy. He's not going to do it. Maybe in another life, maybe when he was back in his 30s, that would have been the girl he chose. But he realizes right now, Kayla not the woman for him. Did y'all pick up when they was leaving that pool hall? Did you pick up what Kayla said to him? I'll come see you when all these cameras leave. Huh? What is that what we doing? Now I know why Kayla may be getting this reputation. Is this what she's doing behind the scenes? I don't know, because even Randall said, are you going to have a good time with Kayla? What are they talking about? But I already knew that Kayla was second choice to Randall anyway, because I already done peeped out who Randall is. First of all, Randall's a personal trainer. They are used to pleasing women because half their clientele be women. So what they don't never like to do is they don't like never to upset no woman, because you know what? When you upset a woman, you might lose a client. That's what personal trainers do. So they never tell you no. They never tell you the straight truth. They just let you think what you want to think. And that's Randall. He's not telling anyone yes. He's not telling anyone no, because he wants to keep you all as potential clients. And in this case, potential dates. So that's why I tell you, don't be dating no personal trainers, because they all kind of got the same act. They always around a lot of women who need training, so they know how to keep women happy. They don't want to upset no women. It's just ingrained in them. Some people are a product of their profession, and that's a product of personal trainer's profession. It's no shade against, I'm not trying to shade personal trainers, but it's a product of their profession, just like a whole lot of other people are products of their professions. But Jamala went out on this date with Randall, and who knew? They must be seeing each other behind the scenes too, because they already got secret phrases talking about I love juice. It means I love you, because it sounds the same. I love juice. I love you. And they over here talking about I love juice to you. I love juice to you too. What is going on? We at the I love you stage. We ain't seen but maybe 1 or 2 days between Jamala and Randall. So there must be a whole lot going on behind the scenes that we haven't even seen. Because Jamala's over here talking about, Randall, do you love me? Can you see yourself falling in love with me? I'm like, what? How are we at the love stage already? We have this many dates already that we haven't seen. But Randall's a nice guy. I can see he's a nice guy. But he's also the type of person that doesn't say no. So what you assume is when Randall doesn't give you an answer or he doesn't say no to you, you assume that the answer is yes, because he doesn't fill in the blank. He leaves it blank and he lets you fill it in. And then a lot of them, what they do is because they want the answer to be yes, they fill in the yes for him. I don't believe it. Don't believe it's a yes until he says it's a yes. And everything that Jamala was asking him, he never affirmatively said yes. He just smiled and gave her a kiss. That ain't a yes, people. That is not a yes. But of all the ladies, I do believe his strongest connection is with Jamala. He says he likes her for her 20 personalities. He says she likes it. She's funny. He says he's big-hearted. And he said, he likes to speak things into existence. Of course he does, because like I said, most personal trainers have to be motivators as well, because they got to motivate their clients. So they like to speak things into existence. I tell you, people are products of their profession. So he says that's what he likes to do, and he likes that with Jamala. Good. I believe they probably have the strongest connection. I tell you, Randall's not interested in Kayla, because if you're really interested in a woman, you don't tell another man you have a good time with her. Like you her pimp. Absolutely not. That's not what you do. And when they did have that little red dinner at the end, and they were airing out all their dirty laundry, and each of them was supposed to say to each other what they weren't happy with. And Jamala was trying to tell Randall, you need to choose, you need to make your intentions known. And Randall's like, I'm not deciding. I'm the man who doesn't say anything, and you can fill in the blanks. I'm not going to decide till I have to decide, and I'm pushed. And in the end, you know what? None of you may get a yes in the Randall's book. He already told Jamala he doesn't always go all in relationships. He's already told her that. So we'll see if this relationship is going to be any different for Randall. But I know who Randall is. Randall's a nice guy, but in a way, he kind of leads women on, not because of what he says, it's because of what he doesn't say. There's two ways to lead a person on. You can say things to them and be a liar and lead them on, but there's another way where you don't say anything at all and you let them fill in the blanks, and then they come to their own conclusions and you just let them come to them conclusions. That's what Randall is doing with Kayla. She's letting Kayla come to her own conclusions, even though he hasn't said anything, and he's also letting Jamala do it. Because then when he's behind closed doors, he says something different. Like I said, he said about Kayla, yeah, you'll have a good time with Kayla. That's a no for Kayla then. When you passing off a girl to another man, that's a no. But when they were having that little dirty session, and Kayla said, I'm going to confront Mike on his two talking, and he says one thing behind closed doors, but he brings Brandy out in public, but he keeps me in the dark. And Mike was like, wait a minute, let's get up and talk about this. And people are like, well, why you got to stand up to talk about it? You know why? Because he wanted to make sure nothing came out her mouth that he didn't want to come out her mouth. And if she started talking too much about what was going on off camera, he probably was going to come up and do this. Put his hand over her mouth so she couldn't ruin and mess up a thing with Brandy. Too late, Mike. Brandy has already seen enough. She's like, where is there a drink tab? Because I need a drink tab. Hold it together, Brandy, or hold it together. I know you in shock. I know you almost want to cry right now because you're like, oh, what the heck is going on? Or what is this right here? I don't know nothing about this. Well, hold on to your wig or your weave, your extension or whatever else, and just watch and observe and hold it together, girl. Take a sip of that Crown and Coke. And when Kayla wanted to keep on talking, Tommy was like, well, what else, Kayla? And Mike said, she said enough. Mike was like, she has said enough. It's going to be interesting to see what happens to Brandy and Mike now, because she can't unsee that. She's not going to be able to unsee that. Mike's going to have a lot of explaining to do, because Brandy going to have some questions. She's going to be in the airport talking about, we loading right now. We boarding the plane, but I got some questions for you. A lot of people was trying to get with Brandy, trying to take her out, but she only had eyes for Mike. I know she mad now, talking about she been saving herself for Mike and doing all this, putting all her eggs in Mike's basket, and he running around behind her back canoodling with Kayla. I know she mad. Because when she went out on that date with Samson, she wasn't taking it seriously. She confronted Samson about, why you bringing everyone gifts? Why you bringing everyone gifts? You need to be thankful that the man is bringing you gifts, because you got other men over here like, what's his name? Jawan Justice ain't bringing nobody no gifts whatsoever but a ladybug. We're going to talk about that too. He finally gave somebody a gift, a loony, on a date, and guess what it was? A ladybug that he caught off the ground. A free gift. But Samson took Brandy on a date. He was like, he wanted to get to know Brandy more. He said, Brandy's just not a Coke bottle. She got depth to her. But you know what? Brandy definitely got that body. I'm telling you, if I had to come back in another life, I really would probably want to come back with Brandy's body, because she's built real nice. She has a nice figure, and I can see how Brandy is running into problems in the dating world. I'm going to tell you how Brandy is running into problems in the dating world, because she revealed to Samson that she really hasn't even had a real boyfriend. Brandy's like almost, between 30 and 35, and she says she has not had a real boyfriend because no one has wanted to get to know the real her. They can't stop past that Coke bottle. That's about as far as they get with her. Kind of, that's what she's saying. It's past that Coke bottle, and that's it. Then they stop. One of the things I see wrong with Brandy's dating style is she's stuck in the middle. Brandy is stuck in the middle between two different types of guys. On one hand, Brandy's got the goods to attract a man. You know, a lot of women don't have the tools to work with that Brandy got. Brandy got the tools. She got the nice Coke bottle. She gonna get a lot of looks. She gonna get a lot of people coming to her. And the other thing about Brandy is, as everyone's been saying, Samson says she has depth. Even Mike says she had depth. But I'm gonna tell you, there's a little ghetto side of Brandy that's gonna turn off a lot of guys. I'm telling you, I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings, but part of Brandy is a little bit of ghetto-ness, and sometimes you may not know what her expressions are or what might come out her mouth. And a guy who's a little bit more sophisticated probably would get turned off by that. I'm just trying to tell y'all, don't get mad at me, don't shoot the messenger. There's a ghetto-ness to Brandy that will turn off a lot of men. Like when Samson was like, oh, this is the dry Chardonnay here and everything. When they was doing the wine tasting, Brandy's like, how you know? Girl, see right there? That's a ghetto response. That right there is a ghetto response, and that would turn a lot of men off. Now, maybe she was saying, do you bring everyone here? Is that why you know it's a dry Chardonnay? What difference does it make? Even if you think it in your head, it doesn't have to come out your mouth. Women, sometimes you just need to take mental notes. Take mental notes in your head, but even though you're thinking it, it doesn't have to come out your mouth. Because once it comes out your mouth, that's when it becomes ghetto. See, the difference between ghetto and sophistication is sophisticated people, they may be thinking the same thing as you. Oh, he must bring a lot of women here. But the sophisticated woman, what they do is they don't say it. They keep their mouth closed and they just take in the data. But Brandy, oh, how you know? See? Brandy, stop doing that. That's why you in the middle, because what happens is when the real ghetto men approach you, you're not going to like them because you actually have depth. And they're going to see that you have depth, so they're actually not going to like you anymore either. And then the sophisticated men, they're going to like you because, like I said, you can attract a lot of men. But once they hear that come out the mouth, how you know, they're going to be turned off. But Samson brought her a book, brought her a book to read. I couldn't really see what it was, but it looked like a book. Maybe it had something to do with travel and doing different things. He told his story that the last woman he was in love with was a Colombian woman. And he was saying it was a good relationship, but I guess it didn't work out. They mutually broke up and everything. That's why I think he kind of likes Charisse, because I think she kind of has that look a little bit more like maybe she could be a Latina or something like that. So maybe that's the reason why he's still hanging on to Charisse, because of the physical. Because we all know Charisse ain't got no personality to go with Samson. Samson is a sophisticated, calm, cool person, and he seems like a really nice person. And we all know that Charisse is mean. Now, Samson speaks Spanish. Let me speak in Spanish. Ella no está simpática. Did I say that right? Ella no está simpática. Ella no es buena. She is not nice, and I don't even know why Samson dealing with her. But Samson told Brandy, after a year, I want to have some trips logged into this book. He's trying to use her for her buddy pass. I know he is. Everybody always, when you meet someone work for the airline, everybody always be like, oh, can you give me a buddy pass? Talking about we're going to have some tricks logged in on her buddy pass. Brandy, don't be letting Samson use you for your buddy pass. That's a joke. I know he ain't going to try to do that, but it is true. People be trying to use flight attendants and people who work for the airline for their buddy passes. I know if Justice found out, what's his name, Juwan found out that she was a flight attendant, he would definitely start trying to use her for a buddy pass so he could get a whole free trip. But Samson over here still dealing with Charisse, and Charisse also ended up going out on a date with LJ. LJ, really a nice guy. He's trying to make his round. He's like, I don't want to be in the bottom no more. I'm going to make sure I date every. He went out with No es buena, ella no está simpática, Charisse. That's what I'm start calling her, no simpática, Charisse. He went out with her as well and tried to take her salsa dancing. And if Samson don't know that there ain't an ounce of a Latina in Charisse, that salsa dancing experience should have told it off. How you gonna live in Miami and not even know the basic step of salsa? I even know the basic steps of salsa. Miami, darn near 60-70% of the population is Latina. That's like being in LA and never being to the beach. This is ridiculous. Women, y'all need to have some basic skill sets when you're dating, so that way you can enjoy dates with men. When you're dating, you should have some skill sets. I get tired when women be going out on dates talking about, I can't swim, I can't salsa dance, I don't know anything about wine, I can't do this, I can't. Round out your portfolio. Know how to at least maybe hit a ball at golf, do something. You ain't got to be no expert, but I get tired of women being 30, 45 years acting like they don't have no experience in life or doing anything. You talk about men don't plan no dates, but then when they take you on a date, you can't even do the basic step of salsa. I mean, you should be going to salsa dance and now being able to learn something better than the basic steps. This girl's ridiculous. LJ was trying to be nice to her. He brought her some flowers and everything. He did a little curtsy. Why was he curtsying? Ain't men supposed to bow down? He's curtsying, and then Shatrice told him, oh, he's so nice. He's not the guy I would normally go out with, but he brought me flowers. It made me grin. This girl is so no simpatica that she said all it did was make her grin, and not smile, people, a grin. She can't even give a smile when somebody, when a man gives her flowers and curtsies to her. She said it made her grin. Good Lord. LJ was like, these vibes are not good. He's like trying to put it out there. She giving him one word answers. He's like, this date is dead on arrival. He said, I did my part. I'm moving on. He realizes his real only connections really are going to be with Looney and Trinika. And I tell you right now, he needs to stick with Trinika. Looney's too much for LJ. Looney is way too much for LJ. So I think his bet is going to be with Trinika. She may have to wear flats all the time, so I think she's a bit taller than him. But in terms of personality, I believe that Trinika will be a better fit for LJ because I think he's a really nice guy. And Looney will run over LJ. Looney will have LJ in a corner, shriveling up and crying. That's what I really believe. But Looney had a date with Juwan Justice. And by the end of the day, Justice was like, Looney is Justice Jr. Juwan Jr. And you know why, people? Because she got free carnival trips. He is cheap. I know dates are expensive and men have to be really more particular on who they take out to dates. So they offering a lot less dates now, which I understand because shoot, it's inflation. Me and my husband went out the other night and I was like, well, we're not doing this more. This is too expensive. We'll cook this food at home. But they went on this little group date that Swayze had planned trampoline. Tommy said the dates was supposed to be romantic, but this trampoline date was not romantic. I don't know how this was romantic. And Juwan Justice showed up with a suit on. He showed up with a linen suit on. You knew he wasn't coming to do no trampoline. What does this man do? Now we know he don't exercise. He doesn't trampoline. He doesn't take people out on dates. He don't call you. He don't text you. What does he do? We found out what he does. He likes free stuff because on this date, he really warmed up to Looney because Looney told him she used to work with Carnival cruise ships and she got a free cruise, and Justin's eyes lit up. He was in love, y'all. He even gave her a free ladybug on the ground, talking about, here's a ladybug for you. That's the first time we've seen a Justice, Juwan, give anybody anything, and it was a free ladybug. He's so cheap, y'all. He realized he's in competition with Looney and Trinika because that's who the same people that LJ likes. They like the exact same people, but I already know that Justice gonna prick Looney because she come with the free perks. But this date that Swayze planned with the trampoline Justice, it definitely wasn't romantic. He invited Shakyra over there to that date as well. At first you think, why is Swayze inviting Shakyra out? Because we know she's beefing with Kadeem. But I guess he is the right person because he is a paramedic, so he's used to responding to 5150 calls. Because we all know Shakyra crazy. And I'm thinking the reason he did this trampoline date is because he was trying to see if he could shake loose that flower she wear in her hair. She even wore that flower to the trampoline exercise date. And let me tell you, that flower stayed in her hair the whole time. It didn't matter how many jumps she did. That flower was stuck in her hair. I think Swayze was probably thinking, let me see if this flower falls out. Is she like Cinderella when she loses her shoe or something? She's going to turn into a pumpkin. If this flower falls on the ground out her head, will this woman turn into a pumpkin? I don't know, but we got the paramedic on hand for the 5150 call just in case she gets a little bit out of hand on the date. And it didn't take long before she started talking about her trauma. I tell you, this Shakyra, she don't miss an opportunity to talk about her trauma. It's almost like, what do they say? Every encounter is an opportunity. Well, let me tell you, for Shakyra, every conversation is an opportunity to talk about her trauma. And she talked about it with Swayze. And Swayze was like, I think you need more time to heal. He's like, I've been on plenty of calls with people like you. I've seen it all. And you need some time to heal. Like I told you, people are products of their professions. And Swayze is definitely a product of his profession, with being a paramedic, a rescuer, helping people. Because I really still don't see him and Kadeem together, because I think Swayze has a more relaxed, outgoing personality, and Kadeem, she wound up tight. I think Kadeem reminds Swayze of his job. That is responding to crises all the time. But let me tell you, when they had that little red dinner, that little vent session, and Kadeem and Flower Girl, Shakyra started getting into it, Swayze didn't look happy. Swayze said, wait a minute, and am I at work over here, or is this actually a dating scenario? Because I think he's going to get tired of Kadeem, because Kadeem gonna start to remind him too much of them crazy 5150 people he encounters out in those Miami streets. She doesn't know how to keep her calm. Even when Shakyra was piping up talking about, we're not gonna be doing this, because she was talking mess. Kadia doesn't know how to stay calm. She doesn't know how to calm herself. She jumps into the conversation at level 10 already. She doesn't show that she can be the bigger person. And she's dealing with a girl who we already know has trauma. So if you already know a person has trauma and they are on the borderline kind of like really messed up, why are you meeting they crazy? You should bring the level down. You shouldn't be meeting they crazy. You should be doing a different thing. But Kadia, she doesn't know how to do that. I don't think Swayze's going to be able to put up with this for too long. It may be good in the beginning, like Kadia said, why do you like me? And he was like, I like you because you talk a lot, you outgoing. He says you eat a lot. Oh, she sure do. We all remember that rib and that corn on the cob. She definitely like to eat. He says that's what makes him attracted to her. But I think it reminds him of his job. And he was saying, one of the things he needs to be is be more vulnerable in relationships because he doesn't want to bring his work home. That's a lot of people. Have you ever dated a policeman, a paramedic, anybody who has to deal with really traumatic stuff during the day? When they come home, they don't want to talk about it, but that stuff be bottled up inside. They probably all need to have a little bit of therapy because they do need somebody to talk to. But he gonna be when he come home, I don't know if Kadeem gonna be a peaceful place. He might come home from the trauma of the Miami streets to come home from all the mess Kadeem starts in her own personal life. Because I can tell she get in a lot of fights with people because Kadeem don't know how to back down from a fight. I think she gets into a lot of arguments and fights and keeps stuff going with a lot of people. They had their little back and forth words, Kadeem and Shakyra, at the end of that messy or red dress dinner. And as soon as Shakyra got her little words out, her little snap back on Kadeem, she had to get up and run into the other room and cry. And finally, they voted her off. And I said, thank goodness, girl. Now let the healing begin, people. Go on home and let the healing begin. And Shakyra, stay out the date market for at least a year. You're going to need at least a year to heal, girl. Your pain is deep. You need at least a year. And the crazy thing was Shakyra said she couldn't believe she got eliminated. She said when she heard her name that she was at the bottom and she was up for elimination, she said she couldn't believe it. Oh my goodness, what couldn't you believe? Is that flour in your head or releasing some types of oils or something that's making your brain cloudy? Because Stevie Wonder could have seen that you gonna be going home. Everybody could see you going home. Sharice was on the bottom too. They told her you need some better energy. You need to become simpática. You need to become a buena, because right now, ella no es buena, ella no es simpática, or both. I don't know if my grammar's right, but I'm going to say it anyway in my Spanish. And but Sharice, she got 9 lives. She a cat with 9 lives. Anyway, that's it, y'all. Drop down in the comments. Let me know what you think about this episode. I actually enjoyed the episode. And I will not be doing a review for next week because I will be on vacation, but I'll catch y'all the following week. Talk to you later. Bye.